Hey guys, Kelly here, and this will be just a short book haul today. Basically, as soon as I did my January book haul, like a few days later, I of course went out and bought more books on Amazon. And since I basically bought them right after my January book haul, for those of you that don't know, I always give $1 for every book I purchase or acquire to a charity that involves education or literacy or whatever. And so since I just bought the other books in the January haul, I ended up giving to the same charity from January and just doing it all together since I hadn't done that donation yet. And so I thought I might as well just do this book haul because I really don't want to buy any more books in February. So by putting this video up, I should not buy any more books until March. That's what I'm telling myself. And so if you didn't see that haul, the charity that I ended up giving to for these books is called Books for MKs. It is a charity created by a fellow booktuber, and her name is Kaylee, and her channel is actually Books for MKs as well, the same name as the charity. And what it is that she takes 100% of the profits from that charity and buys and sends books over to kids of missionaries in other countries, because they may not have access to books in English while they're living with their parents in these other countries as missionary kids. So I went ahead and just added the money from this book and with the rest of the books from January. So this should be short because there are not that many. I think there's only, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books total. And they're mostly involved with series. Alright, and so the first one is a quartet of books. And the reason I got this is because I already had a series by this author, and then I looked online. It turned out that she writes a bunch of books in this world, and they said actually start with this other series first. And since I really wanted to get to that series, I decided I'm just going to buy the series. And also my friend Alex from Alex Black, she just read these recently and really liked them. They were a reread for her because she had read them back when she was younger and reread them. And they are the Song of the Lioness Quartet by Tamora Pierce. So I have the Book of the Immortals, I think it's what it's called, that series. And this book series is supposed to come before that in the world. So I went ahead and got it. So this has 4 books. It is Alanna, the First Adventure, which is a middle grade adventure book. And then I think the rest of these go and follow Alanna as she gets older. So then they move into YA or something like that from there. And so the second one is In the Hand of the Goddess. The third is The Woman Who Rides Like a Man. And finally, Lioness, Rampant. And the other reason I bought these from Amazon is because I realized that the covers and the style of these match my other ones, which, let me go grab those. Okay, so it's just called The Immortals Quartet, and these are the covers from those 4 books. So they're kind of like, have this blackish filigree coloring here and the spines. But if you look at these, even though they're a different color, they definitely match in style. So I'm just weird, and I really wanted them to match on the shelf. So I went ahead and bought these, and they were a pretty good deal for all 4 of them from Amazon. And I'm just hoping they're stories that I will like and that I can pass on to my girls someday, because from Alex's description, these sound very much like girl power kind of stories. So excited for that. And the next book I bought is Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. This is the 3rd book in the Mistborn trilogy. I read Mistborn Final Empire in January. I meant to pick up Well of Ascension in February. I did start it, but then I got into like Contemporary-thon and some other things. So I haven't actually gotten past chapter 3 on it, but I will. I'll probably read it towards the end of the month of February, and then I will hopefully pick up this in the next couple months because it's been really good so far. And the next one is all from the same author. So this is a self-published author. Her name is Jordan Rivet, and I picked up the rest of her Steel and Fire series books. So I read the first 2, which are Duel of Fire and King of Mist, and I really loved them, so I went ahead and bought her whole series because I just knew I wanted to continue. So the 3rd book is Dance of Steel, the 4th book is City of Wind, and then the final book is Night of Flame. And I love these covers, and I'm really enjoying the story so far. So I think it'll be nice to have the entire series. Plus, I don't feel as bad because since she's a self-published author, I feel like I'm supporting her by buying the physical books. But if you are interested in the story, she does have the Kindle versions, and you also can listen to the audiobooks on Scribd, or I found them on my library app as well. So if you're not into buying the physical books but want to check it out, I know there are other options for it. And then the other one I bought was another one of Jordan Rivet's books. I figure after I finish this, I might try one of her other series. I think this might have been the first series she wrote. This is Seabound, and this is book 1 of the Seabound Chronicles. This is another trilogy. This one, from what I heard, is kind of like a post-apocalyptic book that happens on a ship, like in the ocean. So that sounds really interesting. So kind of almost like a locked room mystery, but in a post-apocalyptic setting. Fun. So I wanted to check this out when I'm done with this series, just to see how her older work was, and if I enjoyed it as much. If I like the first one, then I'll buy the other 2 as well. I know she does have an audiobook version and Kindle versions of these as well. I have not found anywhere where I can actually listen to the audiobook other than from Audible, so I'm just going to get the physical copies. And then she has one other series, trilogy, that's complete, but I figure I'll try this one first before I move on to that one. And not quite ready to spend more money at this point. So that's all of my books. I just had a lot of fun this month, kind of splurging a little bit, but we'll probably take a break for another month or so before I buy anything else. Let me know if you have read any of these and if you have enjoyed them, or what you're reading now. Bye!